Atlantis. Just saying the name conjures up images of a lost world, one of shining palaces, impossible technology, and a cataclysm that swallowed everything whole. But where did this legend actually come from? Let's dive into the real history and the lasting mystery of Atlantis. It all starts with Plato. Around 360 BCE, this famous Greek philosopher introduced Atlantis in two works, Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was a jaw-dropping island empire somewhere beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which, today, we call the Strait of Gibraltar. He described a civilization so advanced, so rich that it seemed almost magical. The people lived in harmony, surrounded by gleaming metal-lush fields and an impressive canal system. At the heart of Atlantis, a grand city dedicated to the sea god Poseidon, supposedly the father of the Atlanteans. But here's the twist. Plato didn't claim to invent this story. He said it was passed down from his ancestor Solon, who heard it from Egyptian priests. They described Atlantis as ancient, even by ancient standards, a society that supposedly thrived 9,000 years before Plato's own time. So what did Atlantis look like? Plato paints a picture of a circular island with ringed waterways and land palaces and temples, like something out of science fiction. The island was loaded with gold and silver, and even a mysterious metal called orichalcum. Their engineering? Next level. They built massive structures and a canal system so complex it still fires up the imagination today. But no utopia lasts forever. According to Plato, Atlantis was doomed by its own success. As the Atlanteans grew richer, they also grew greedy, turning away from their old values. The gods, not impressed, sent destruction, earthquakes and floods that wiped Atlantis off the map in a single day and night of misfortune. Whether it's history or allegory, Plato meant it as a warning: don't let pride destroy what you've built. Of course, the real mystery is whether Atlantis ever existed at all. Over the centuries, explorers, scientists, and conspiracy theorists have searched for it everywhere from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, even Antarctica. Some point to the volcanic eruption on Santorini, which devastated the Minoan civilization, as the real-life inspiration. Others say Plato just made it all up, a philosophical metaphor, dressed up as a thrilling story. Yet the legend refuses to die. Atlantis pops up in books, movies, and video games. Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, big-budget films, even comic books, all have kept the myth alive. Atlantis stands for the possibility of lost knowledge, vanished wonders, and the thin line between greatness and ruin. So, was Atlantis real? Maybe not. But sometimes the greatest mysteries aren't about what's true, they're about what we're inspired to imagine. And in that sense, Atlantis remains as powerful today as it did over 2,000 years ago. The legend keeps us searching, questioning, and dreaming, and that, I think, is the real magic of Atlantis.